spread the word and the wealth, from doing that. I think that's
one of the great things
great.
we came up with Jack last year was we needed a board member, and we had a young man who graduated from the High School Leadership Council. His name is Jimmy Tick. He's now our youngest board member.
Wow.
And he's going to help us with some youth leadership reunion programs coming up this fall at United Way.
So how old is he right now?
In his early 20s?
Yeah.
Wow.
Early 20s.
Wow. What's the record for the youngest board member ever? Is he the record?
He might be.
He might be.
Wow.
Maybe.
Wow. That's great. Good. Gotta have him on the show.
Yeah,
So.
great young man.
I'm Kathy Williams. I'm the library director at the Derby Public Library, and our programs are in full swing here this summer. We have 3 reading clubs covering all ages. Our Dream Big Read is for ages 3 through 11. Our Balance Your Life club is for ages 12 through 17. And our Book Your Escape Club is for adults ages 18 and on. With all 3 clubs, participants are encouraged to read books of their choice, and they earn participation prizes, and there are also raffle prizes included. In addition, all 3 clubs will end with a closing party. New this summer at the library for adults is our Monday evening Escapes and Escapades. Each Monday at 6:30. We have scheduled a special program just for adults that will take them away for an hour or so. Some of the topics are what you might expect to find in children's programs, but we're encouraging all our adults this summer to reconnect with the child within them. Some special young adults programs include the popular Hunger Games books trilogy series. We're having book discussions covering all 3 of those. Rich DiCarlo is visiting us for a series on drawing. He is from the Valley Arts Council. And we're having another program on video production presented by Mark Weisman, host of Looking Up a View from the Valley. Some of our children's highlight programs this year include a special family camp time story hour, a visit from the Beardsley Zoomobile, Summer Bingo, and Bubble Mania. For more details on these programs and more, go to derbypubliclibrary.org or call us at the library at 203-736-1482. If you're looking to get away for a day this summer, remember that the Derby Public Library has several different recreation passes for destinations such as the Beardsley Zoo, the Norwalk Maritime Aquarium, the Mystic Seaport Aquarium, the state parks, and many more. And all these can be checked out on your library card. Each pass will give you either a discounted or free admission. The only thing I suggest is that you contact the library for availability before you make plans for your day so you won't be disappointed. And again, details on our passes can be found on our website or by calling the library or by stopping in at 313 Elizabeth Street. So I hope to see you all at the library. Thank you.
So then as far as, I guess, getting into the funding, get your job now, I guess, first of all, when you joined the United Way, what was your role
I
then?
just came on as a board member, and in the beginning, I was coming to the meetings, listening,
Right.
Getting a little involved. And within the second year, I was asked to join the campaign cabinet, and I've been on it ever since. And I did campaign. I took over from Fred when Fred became board chair.
Oh, okay.
I said, okay, now it's my turn. This is turn number 3.
Wow.
But I enjoy it very much, or I wouldn't do it a third time.
Oh, absolutely.
Again, Jack and the staff gives me opportunity to meet these great people. Adrian's company, Iroquois Gas, in particular, is one of our great campaign providers. They raise a ton of money, but have an absolutely phenomenal time.
I actually, when you said that, it just dawned on me. Are you the Iroquois Gas that keeps sponsoring Center Stage?
Yes, we are.
I'm like, where have I heard that?
Yeah.
Fran and Gary always talk about that before the show, and then I guess you might have been the original sponsor, I think, to their very first show.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. And I played the piano for It's a Wonderful Life this year. It was great. I mean, yeah, but I'm like, why have I heard that before? Okay, so that makes sense. So,
It's rewarding for me. As much as it's hard work getting the money, the reward that you get back from it personally is tenfold.
Oh,
and then when you
absolutely.
see what the programs that Adrian's able to fund and the people we're able to eventually help, it's just tremendous. It's a tremendous feeling for yourself. It's a little selfish, but you just feel you see these kids or some
Oh,
other
absolutely.
people receiving the services they so desperately need to have.
Now, when you mentioned the, like your job is to get some funds, so like I mentioned before about grants or, companies maybe donating, I mean, so where, like for instance, getting grants from the state or even federal grants, how does that work? Is that an option or no?
Listen, I mean,
Yeah,
you know,
we really are not getting funded through state and federal.
Oh,
money,
okay.
Most of ours is just local fundraising.
Okay.
And the two key parts of that are employee campaigns. And Adrian runs
Right.
one of the absolute best. And Adrian works for Iroquois, and they just run an incredible campaign. It's a corporate donation and an employee campaign. And that's where most of it comes in.
Okay.
There's also a mail campaign.
So can somebody, that rang a bell to me, can somebody have like from their paycheck allocated to here, like you do for your 401k, can they take a percentage and say they don't have to worry about it, it automatically gets towards the United Way?
Absolutely.
Okay.
In fact, that was the genius of United Way years ago. They were the ones who pioneered that concept
Mhm.
and have been doing it ever since. And, it worked then, and it works now. It's a
Right.
very easy way for people to give. If you give a small amount, you don't notice it. But over a course of a year.
Sure, right, like I said, like
Yeah,
a
it's not-
retirement
takes
fund,
a
it's the
big
same
impact.
idea, they say
Yeah.
start when you're your first job, 20, 18, whatever, and then by the time you're 40, 50, it's just, multiplied, by
And then we do some special events. There were, most of the grants we write are for specific programs.
Okay.
Like the youth program, et cetera.
Okay,
But
for
we-
example, other than the youth program, other examples you could cite?
Yeah, some of the things that our corporate volunteer council does. We also host, we'll talk more about it later on, the Valley Council. There's some grants that come there.
Right.
Some of the early childhood efforts that are going on that we help coordinate, flow through here. Those are grant dollars.
Right.
But seldom, right now, do we get involved with state or federal grants. It's all
Oh, okay.
foundations.
That's pretty admirable, I mean, if you think about it. I mean,
Yeah.
there's obviously you do a lot more, let's say, I don't even quantify it, but you do, like libraries, for instance, are entitled to those things, and yet you're not. And, so I could see where the fact that you're able to do it just locally and do what you do. Now, that actually reminds me too, there is obviously a national United Way. So how does the Valley United Way coordinate with them? And is there any time where you can actually appeal on the national level and say, what funding do you have? Could you help us out here? That kind of thing?
Well, in the past, the United Way of America, now United Way Worldwide,
Right.
was more of a service organization that supported the local United Ways, not with the fundraising,
Mm-hmm.
okay? Basically, every United Way belongs to its own local community.
Oh, okay.
The
Okay.
United Way Worldwide does not get the money that's raised here, and they have no say in how it's spent here. Okay, they have membership standards. Now, it's starting to change a little bit where United Way Worldwide is coming out with initiatives that they think all United Way should be involved in around
Mhm.
health, education,
Right.
and income. And, most of the things that we do are related to that, but they don't make those decisions, okay? It's all local people.
So for instance, like the Lions Club has a national, like the eyeglass thing like that.
Right.
There's no sort of analogous thing for United Way where on a national level, you all work towards, 5% of your time is devoted towards a common effort. It's always 100% pretty much local?
Well, the funding is all local, but again, right now, United Way Worldwide has an emphasis on 3 areas: health, education, and maintaining family income.
Okay.
Okay. Within that education, a big goal nationally is to ensure that there's a much higher graduation rate from schools.
Mhm.
In Detroit, for example, 70% of the kids don't graduate in 4 years. That's a disaster for the city of Detroit.
What's the graduation percentage rate in the Valley?
Most of them are 90% or
Oh,
better. Now,
oh, good.
there are some changes going on there, the way they calculate it, but
Sure.
it's not the same scope of a problem here as it is in other places.
Oh, of course,
So,
of course.
we work closely with schools on a lot of different things, but
Right.
that may not be as big a priority here because it's not as big a
Right,
need.
exactly, right.
But it's still something.
Sure, you got to make
we'll
sure
deal
it doesn't drop, and you want to,
Right.
and it's hopefully still growing,
Right.
even though it's towards the
Right,
100%.
and we have a heavy focus on early childhood, which is also
Yep.
national.
Right.
We've always supported a lot of youth programs here
Mhm,
in the Valley. In
mhm.
fact, I think that's always been a strength of this.
Okay.
this
For example,
United
what
Way.
are some of the youth programs that you?
Well, Boys and Girls Club.
Okay.
We talked about the rec. We talked about the
Right.
YMCA.
Is the rec still available now?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry,
yeah.
I got the impression
Yeah,
that it was
yeah.
just,
You mentioned Scouts, we do Boy
Absolutely.
Scouts and Girl Scouts.
okay. So all the scouts, not just Derby or Shelton, but like all the valley-wide scouts, you help, or?
We're valley-wide organizations.
Right,
so we
exactly.
support valley-wide programs.
Good.
Even the Boys and Girls Club, at one time, it was called Shelton.
Right, now there's
It's Valley,
Ansonia and
okay?
Shelton, that's right.
The YMCA was the Ansonia YMCA, it's the
Mhm.
Valley YMCA.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we're supporting programs all across the
Now,
valley.
just going back to what you talked on before, there were other, before the Valley United Way came in, there were pockets of each town or multiple towns. So how was it? There was Derby Shelton was one, right?
Derby and Shelton were always together. It was
Okay.
a community chest,
Okay,
okay? And before that, maybe a Red Feather Society. If you go back, the origins in the valley, probably more in the Depression era, when they
Mhm.
had relief organizations in all the towns. I think those eventually evolved into
Right.
nationally, United Way is, its foundation is 125 years old this year. And, you know, I hate to make it as a joke, because it's not a joke, but it was a priest, a rabbi, and a minister that got together in Denver and said, gee, instead of all of us going out and doing our own thing,
right.
maybe it makes
Work
sense if we
together.
work together on that. And that's,
Wow.
that's how United
So
Way
there was a
started.
religious connotation to the United Way at
Well,
the beginning, in that sense.
Religious in that they led it, but it was for not their religious efforts, not for the church effort, but for
Okay.
the social services that they
Oh,
provided.
that's
to the
interesting.
community.
Wow.
So that's where it started, and then
Is there
eventually
anything, that actually makes me think, I mean, you've got, I mean, I go to a synagogue, but there's, the church activity around here is huge. Is there anything that sort of ties that heritage, that it started that way, that the United Way gets involved in, you know, sort of, I guess, or it's more just, those just happen to be the professions of the people that started?
That's where it started.
Oh, I see, okay, okay.
But, you know, I think you see in lots of communities, church groups are social service providers.
Right, right.
Okay, and that would be the tie-in, not to the religious part,
Oh,
but
I
to
see.
the social
I
service
see,
side.
okay.
Okay, because we, you know, as a United Way, we would not contribute to a church or
Right.
a religious group,
Right.
but we could support a daycare center. that
Oh,
type
I
of
see.
thing.
Oh,
Okay.
wow, okay, I hadn't thought of that, that's really good.
Yeah.
And I guess the other thing, also, that when you said Derby Shelton, Ansonia had its own United Way?
Yes.
And then you have what?
It wasn't called United Way.
What was it?
Community chest, most of
Oh,
it.
Community Chest, okay.
I
And
think
then-
Seymour Oxford, I think that was the first one to use the term United Fund.
Oh,
'Cause they
okay.
were United Fund, then, when they put them together, then they became United Way.
I see, okay. And then Beacon Falls, was that part of it?
Beacon Falls was always together with Naugatuck, that's a separate United Way.
Oh, okay.
In
Is
fact, the
that,
woman who runs that United Way used to work here.
oh, really? What's her name?
Lisa Shappy.
Oh, okay, excellent. If you have any comments on the show, feel free to provide feedback, questions, or suggestions to lookingupvalley@gmail.com or check out our Facebook page and dedicated website. Thank you very much.